Hi everyone, this is Anne, and don't mind if I have a little bit of cry eyes, but I just want to say Beauty and the Beast, and it was so beautiful, so I think I cried several times during the movie. But anyway, today for Scary Saturdays, I'm going to be sharing with you 17 creepy things that kids have said to their babysitters while their parents were out. So here's the first one. A few years ago, I was putting my friend's daughter to bed for the night. She was about 3 at the time and she was fighting going to sleep. She asked me why she had to go to bed and I said, because it is late and it's time for little girls to get a good night's rest. She then pointed at nothing across the room and said, "What about that little girl?" And here's the second one. 2 years ago, I was looking through my elementary school yearbook with my 5-year-old cousin. When we were at a page with the second grade class, she pointed to a boy's photo and said, "That looked just like Nicholas." When I asked who Nicholas was, she just said, "The boy in my closet," and kept on looking through the pictures. I almost died. 3. Little kids know stuff, man. My niece is 4 and talks about her older sister constantly. She's always talking to her too. She's an only child and has no idea her mother had a previous pregnancy a few years back that was a midterm loss. Reads me out something major. 4. I was heading to the bathroom on the second floor of my aunt's house when I saw my cousin April on the stairs. April was 4 and very animated. She was busy making funny faces while sitting on the stairs. I asked her what she was doing. She said, "I'm copying the lady with the braid." I looked around. There was no one else but us. I asked, "Where is the lady, April?" She pointed to a beam running parallel to the stairwell. I asked April, "What is the lady doing?" She said, "Making funny faces." I smiled and started walking up the stairs again when April said something that stopped me in my tracks. "April, her braid is around her neck." I turned back and asked April to repeat herself. April pointed. "The lady is hanging by her braid. She's making funny faces." Then April started making a face, which I then realized was if someone was gasping for air. 5. I was looking after Jack, a 5-year-old, who said a man named Jacob, who dressed like a lumberjack, was sitting next to me on the couch. He must have seen the shock in my face and said, "Don't worry, he doesn't have any arms." What the fuck? 6. My little nephew used to talk about a woman who would visit his room at night. He said she wore a red dress, that her name was Franny, and that she would sing to him, and that she floats. 7. We were driving down a dark, snowy highway late one night, final stretch of a 16-hour long road trip. My son, who was around 4 or 5 at the time, was in the back seat and becoming a bit restless. He suddenly covered his face with a blanket and announced loudly, "I don't want to get glass on my face." A few moments later, a pickup truck towing some snowmobiles pulled out in front of a tractor trailer in a few cars in front of us and got hit, spinning out into the median. Fortunately, we avoided the accident completely. It was indeed a bit creepy, though almost as though he predicted there was going to be an accident right in front of us. 8. My friend and I were babysitting her 4-year-old cousin one night, and she really believed in all that reincarnation stuff and decided to test out her theories on her little cousin. She began asking him questions that he didn't quite understand, but then stated it simply. "What were you before you were?" and then its name. He replied that he was a conductor and waved his hands in the motion that a conductor would. The problem with this was that this little boy was born blind. 9. This is a little bit fucked up. To our 3-year-old son, "What would you do if we had another baby?" Our son, "I'd kill it." What the fuck? 10. My 4-year-old son said, "Daddy, I want to drill into your tummy, crawl inside, and eat your dinner." The food was okay, but I didn't think it was worth that much effort. 11. I had a child tell me she wanted to jackhammer people to death and then build a playground out of their arms and legs. Children are fucking creepy. 12. I lost my boyfriend to a stray bullet a few months back, and when I went to visit his little cousin a few days after it happened, he came up to me while I was crying. He asked me why I was crying, and so I told him that I miss my boyfriend. He gets this confused look on his face and then says, "Why?" He's sitting on the front porch. 13. I once babysat a girl called Sarah who used to love when I babysat. I know this because her mom used to tell me how she always requested me over the others. But Sarah took it a step further one evening and said, "When you die, I want to put you in a glass jar so I can keep you and see you forever." What? 14. I don't want to go upstairs alone. The man in my room might be there. She explained she saw him in her room at night. I told her it was probably just her dad checking on her. She said no, because this guy was tall and skinny, and her dad was short and fat. She was 3 years old. 15. One night I was babysitting my friend's children. The youngest, about 5 years old, drew a picture of a woman hanging from the ceiling, looked up at me and said, "She told me to draw this. She's coming for you. Hide." Swear these kids saw too many horror movies. 16. My daughter had an imaginary friend named Sally. She told me once about how Sally was in jail for chopping her mother's head off. The fuck? 17. I used to nanny full time. The parents asked me to stay late, almost overnight, so they could go on a date that day. I put all of the kids to bed and loaded up a movie the mom had suggested. It was a horror movie called The Babadook. Part of the way through the movie, I paused it because I heard the youngest coming down the stairs. She comes up to me, looks me dead in the eyes and says, "Do you want to die?" Without hesitation, I told her, "No, go back to bed." So these were the stories I had for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Bye!